So I think they were a little worried about picking a tanky support that was really that superstar, that secondary carry to the Misfits lineup. It was Power of Evil and Cacao that was always getting those early advantages, but they might be able to get one in the bottom.
He's going to jump away with the flash, but Handsama on the chase. One more auto, first blood, Misfits, and Samix has to run away. Oh. Onto Samix, explosive charge comes out as well, but Hylissang's going to step forward. Handsama's going deep, he wants it, he gets the kill. And won't be able to jump out because he hasn't got the mana, so has to use the heal. But once again, the Misfit bot lane is coming up big. Just before Samix as well meant they could use the ult. Exile tried to go deep in the mid lane. Power of Evil and Maxlor are on the collapse, as is Ignar. Flash hook. Exile jumps away. There's a little bit of parkour from Exile.
Ignar, he was just expecting a different direction to come out. Now we do see Chachi moving into the mid lane.
Here comes the equalizer. PoE, no mana. Ignar's here as well with Hylissang. Chachi's going to get the damage down with the Flame Spitter, and that's first kill of the game for the Unicorns. Top lane's looking bright as well for Vizicachi into that Gnar. Alphari's Gnar is something that we used to see out of him a lot, Thaddeus, especially in the UK scene, but hasn't quite looked up to his usual standard. Hylissang's going to get hooked in the bottom lane. Explosive charge, Maxwell across the wall, jumps onto Hilly, can't quite get it, but Handsama secures the kill, and that's all 3 kills for the Tristana. The teleport's going to join them up now as Chachi wants to get a piece of this action. So does Exile, he's roamed down. Equalizer just about ticks onto the Misfits. Alphari jumps back, that's a kill, looking for more as Maxwell jumps them up. He goes into the passive. Misfits could look for the re-engage here, but Power of Evil is not in the vicinity, and the Unicorns will get a 1-for-1 trade.
For Unicorns of Love.
Oh, hot. Exile can jump across the wall, but actually gets cancelled with the rocket punch. Power of Evil here as well. Misses the petrifying gaze. Maxwell gets a very long stretching strike, and Handsama's going to jump. Does not invest the flash into going onto Exile.
I love this early vision coming out from Misfits. Already, they're stocking up on controls, fighting top lane.
Handsama does have the jump and knock back onto Xerxes. Maxwell's on his way. Ignar's down to half. Maxwell gets with the stretching strike, pulls back Hylissang as well, and Handsama's going to jump in, exhausted. Maxwell says no, he jumps straight to the front of the fight, and Hylissang goes down. Handsama on a rampage. I'm always excited for a team fight. Misfits might not be, though, because their team fighting across the course of the split has been less than par. They're looking to rectify that now as they jump onto Exile. The hook from Ignar connects, but Misfits cannot go any further as the Assassin's Path will take Exile away.
Very good awareness from Misfits during the early game, and now this could be the fight they're looking for.
Hylissang hooked into the midst of the Misfits. Maxwell jumps forward, let's bounce, he says, and Power of Evil gets his first kill. Maxwell survives. Exile is a long way away, but he might try and join the fray. He got a couple of kills. It looks like it's just a chase down, Thaddeus.
So he used mini malform to just tie him at arm's length rather than run away. Exile decided to hard commit to the 1-versus-1. And he lost. He could have just ran, he could have disengaged, he had the jump, he thought he had more damage than he actually did.
It's the power of 2 items on that Gnar. As soon as you get the Frozen Mallet and the Black Cleaver, it's incredibly effective. Chachi does have the equalizer back up. Alphari's looking for the chase, about to go mega, dodging the harpoons, jumps in, has the Gnar, into the wall, up, into the building, doesn't connect because the minions got in the way. The equalizer comes out, and now Alphari might need to be a little bit more careful, but he doesn't care. A solo kill for Alphari.
Everything looking great for Misfits. Now they just do what they've always done, which is use Baron to force a fight or try and find a pick onto Hylissang.
Hylissang puts down the Frozen Domain, trying to get away from PoE, the Subjugate, the Noxious Blast, the Exhaust as well. Hilly actually might escape. Does manage to get away, but he had to burn a lot.
So many flanking wards for Alphari to TP to. He's almost got the Mega Gnar. You could not ask for a better setup, Medic. We're going to have a fight. It has to happen now.
Gone and cursed it again.
It's guaranteed.
Please stop saying it. Maxwell wants to try and prove you right as he gets the knockback. Xerxes belly pops him away. Alphari's going to jump into the fight. Xerxes stunned up with the wallop, but here comes the equalizer. That's superbly placed. Exile's up towards the backside of the fight as he tries to collapse onto Maxwell. Misfits having to retreat away from the Unicorns of Love, but the wallop into the Gnar, into Hylissang joining the fight. Ignar's in the front line. He needs to get the head out of there because Unicorns of Love get a fight in the mid lane, and this is exactly what they want to see. They actually win out the fight, 5,000 gold behind.
I think they're just going to rush this. This is a risk. Remember, Xerxes, he has his TP. He has the vision from the barrel, but he's got no wards left.
Does have a flash, does have the smite, does have Exile on the flank. Gets hooked in. That's going to be...
He's still alive.
He's still alive. Has to flash out, though. Ignar's so low. 2 kills already in the pit, and the Unicorns of Love are going to clean up. Misfits get the Baron, but they get no one out. Alphari trying to jump away. Samix has the red buff slow. The Gnar knocks him back. Misfits... Samix actually killing people on the back line all by himself. And Maxwell survived as well. Hansamet should be able to get away
Lifesteal,
to the
man,
top side. He lifesteals, but the equalizer comes out. Hylissang puts down the wall. Hansamet says thank you very much. The knockback. Maxwell joins the fight once again. Chachi's on his way. Misfits are just trying to fight this one out. The TP as well. They want this. They want a grand team fight, Thaddeus. Your predictions are coming true. The root, the knockback, the kills, the Misfits as they clean up after the Baron.
Hansama played that beautifully.
And the Misfits have got their scaling online. They've got a Cassiopeia with 300 CS, and they've got a 7-kill Hansama. They're looking for this mid-lane tower. The hook connects onto Hylissang. His pillar actually locking him out from getting back into base. Maxwell gets knocked in, but Hansama goes legendary. Exile trying to get onto the Trist. Can he take him out? No, he can't. Knocked up, taken down. Double kill. Hansama and the Misfits are going to play clean up crew.
He's going
through
for the
base.
penta.
He gets the triple. He gets the quadra. Give us a penta, Hansama, to start us off. The EULCS quarterfinals start off with a pentakill.
Hansama, my word, you have certainly stepped up in game 1 of this series, getting yourself a pentakill, and we talk about momentum. What better way to build it than this game 1 from Misfits?
A devastating performance by Misfits and a commanding victory for them as they go 1-0 up over the Unicorns of Love.
This is a very risky pick from the side of Unicorns of Love. What I can say is that they are going very Unicorns of Love style.
The Unicorns of Love have said it's difficult for us after so many average splits. We need to look towards that world spot and we need to play around the mid lane, say Misfits as the knockback onto Exile. He flashes, but it's first blood in the mid lane, and Misfits do exactly what we want them to. But it's not a monumental disadvantage for the Unicorns. Ignar and Hansama going aggressive in the bottom lane as the Winter's Bite comes out. Hansama still able to get some damage down, but it's not the early kills we expected to see. Xerxes gets the stretching strike onto PoE, the knockback from Maxwell, Ignite on Exile. Stand United comes in, the Let's Bounce knocks him back. The TP is going to join the players. Alfari's there, Visit Chachi takes down PoE, but Maxwell and Alfari get one in response. Chachi's going to run away as Ignar's joined the fight. And the Misfits will have to just trade 1 for 1.
And then Alfari's forced to TP down, but now you've alleviated that pressure mid, and there's a fight happening down bot.
Samux just kills Ignar. It looks like Ignar overstepped, maybe got caught up in a stun lock there. Hylissang actually used the Glacial Fissure and Concussive Blow, so that will be why Ignar died with his flash still up.
He wanted the health. Oh, hang on. Here's that push in mid that we were talking about earlier on.
Knockback from Maxwell, the stun lock, and that's a kill. Maxwell secures it.
That was beautiful, Medic.
Still sitting on that vision, though, and they're not even using the sweeper here. Maxwell does have it. Unicorns of Love are going to collapse. The Stand United coming in. The Unicorns want to fight. Misfits knocked back. Winter's Bite as well. Here comes the counter TP from Alfari. He has the equalizer. The Misfits just want the Dragon for the time being. The Unicorns not ready to give it up just quite yet, but they do have to. And the Mountain Drake goes to the Misfits.
And I think that that's what UOL should play towards right now. Team.
Power of Evil looking for the trade. The Culling comes out. Exile has the flash. PoE flashes forward with the Ignite. Oh, he gets him! That's the reason he tops the charts as a mid laner. PoE with the solo kill in mid.
He got 1 kill in a bad team fight played by the opposition, and then all of a sudden he became overfed and they won the game. So I wouldn't count them out. Some plays happening top.
Quickness used by Ignar. The tower there. The TP coming in will come through. The Unicorns of Love want this fight, but Alfari's joined the fray. There's the equalizer as well. Misfits 1 for 1 trade. Hylissang down as well, and now it's Chachi and Exile all by themselves. Xerxes nowhere to be seen. Exile's dead. Chachi running away from 4 members of Misfits. Ignar cannot land the grand entrance, and the Unicorns fall 1 by 1 in the top lane.
And he did just that in game 1. His Zac was extremely important in terms of initiations and setup for the rest of his team, and he's done it. And now he's gotten Power of Evil fed enough that he's able to get another solo kill.
Because Vedius, you said, Maxwell and Ignar, they don't play together enough.
They don't.
Kakao and Ignar play together so much more. They're so much better. Hylissang's going to get caught out of the exhaust. We're not going to care about that back. The stun lock onto PoE. He tries to dodge away, but Exile's there to get the shutdown, his 2nd kill of the game. We haven't hit the infamous Unicorns of Love 25-minute mark, but they want to start it a little bit early this game. They're going for the Baron. 4 members of the Misfits here to try and contest an equalizer as well.
But their damage is all gone. Power of Evil isn't here. Misfits, they just have to disengage.
Hylissang the front line, the equalizer perfectly placed as Misfits do manage to disengage. And the Unicorns of Love unable to get anything out of that. Stepped up to the performance we expected from him. He wasn't this top lane solo carry that we wanted him to be as PoE gets some damage back onto Exile. He can't even jump away. It's just unfair as PoE will eventually
He can actually get out of this. Oh no, he's got
No,
mana
he's got no
left.
mana at all. PoE should be able to secure this kill. There is a blue buff on Exile to keep him healthy, but here comes Ignite. He's just going to ignite him and walk away. Jumps in, grand entrance. Exile trying to get a little bit more CS.
Get him!
He gets him. He gets him in the end. 5, 2, and 3 now on that Lucian.
I don't think Castellan can 1v1 Power of Evil.
I get that impression as well.
Yeah, it feels like that you can't send Exile off onto a side lane because he's gonna die. Now, 5 members of Misfits are grouped on the top side. They're looking towards this Baron.
Hylissang forced back by Hansama and Max Law. Lots of damage coming down. The knockup as well with the Keeper's Verdict and the Charm, the quickness. PoE, another kill for him, and the Misfits will turn their eyes towards the Baron.
Misfits are looking so good in this series. In game 1, they just wanted the scaling. They wanted to play it passive. They found a couple of good early kills because their bottom lane overperformed and punished the mistakes. Now they've had a great early game and they're going for the Baron.
Xerxes looking for the jump in with a knockback. He lets bounce as Chachi joins the fray. A good taunt onto 2. Passive used onto Xerxes. UOL will lose 1 and they'll lose a second as Xerxes goes down. The Misfits team fighting has been sublime throughout this series.
Cloud9 is probably the most legendary when it comes to reverse sweeps. Misfits themselves got a reverse sweep in spring against Splice. They're not common, but they happen. And when you're going up against the Unicorn, those guys definitely know how to fight back. But let's see if Misfits can even close this game out because they will look to take that first inhibitor.
Inhibitor in mid will fall lower as the Misfits push forward with the Baron buff. 40 seconds remaining on it. They're just waiting until Hansama can step forward once again. This will be the inhibitor falling and then sent Power of Evil down to a separate lane, but Xerxes jumps in. Step of Presence knocks him back. Misfits able to disengage and then use the Tasman to bring these 4 members down to join up with PoE. Chachi still split pushing. The Baron buff about to run out. Misfits want another inhibitor off this if they can. It's a 4v5, the stun lock on Hylissang, the stand united unbreakable. He goes down before Chachi can join, and now Xerxes in the midst. A great route, let's bounce, but he just brings all of Misfits into the rest of his team. Misfits, a triple kill for Alfari, the inhibitor, and perhaps the game.
Misfits look so clean in game 2. 15-4 is the scoreline. Chachi only now arrives.
Exile is able to kill Ignar, but Alfari unkilled this game has been a dominant force for Misfits. They'll take the first Nexus Tower, and they decide to back away. A 13,000 gold lead, but they're not willing to throw this game at the Nexus Towers. Unicorns of Love with a control ward of their own, trying to catch out PoE. He comes around the corner, straight into the face of Exile and the face of Chachi, but a knockback from Max Law. Hylissang puts down the Glacial Fisher, and the Unicorns, with the engage they want, cannot kill a single member of Misfit. 13,000 gold lead. They have looked in control from basically minute 3 after that first blood in the mid lane. The Unicorns unable to respond, but do have scaling on their side. Chachi jumps in. Hylissang there, puts the wall up, divides his team from the Misfits, but the inhibitor tower will fall, and Misfits want the final inhibitor.
Oh, Unicorns of Love. Their backs are against the wall once more. Just not coming to fruition because Misfits just seem to always find an answer.
Xerxes jumps in, can't steal away the Baron. Misfits secure it. Ignar jumps onto the backline. There's the equalizer as well. A double knockup. Exile trying to get onto any member of Misfits that he can find, but Alfari's godlike, as are the rest of the Misfits. Hansama kills Exile. Samus chucks down some feathers, but they're going to do no damage at all to Misfits, and the Unicorns of Love just trying to retreat up towards the top side of the map. Power of Evil's not going to let them get away. Hylissang dead. Samuk's gone as well. Misfits with the ace, 20 kills to 5. The Nexus Towers fall, and this will be the game for the Misfits. They have looked authoritative throughout this win, throughout this series, and they will be 1 game away from the semi-finals and from Paris.
I think it's a little risky, personally. I think it does extremely well into the Gragas.
Max Law and Ignar together, and it's not going to happen again. Xerxes jumps in, the Ocean Drake goes out, and Alfari makes a great play in the top lane to get himself to safety.
And this is why I was a little bit concerned about this pick. And if he gets to Rust, he will have a lot of value later on into the game, but there's a long way to go until he gets that.
Dodge from Power of Evil into the Shockwave as well, and here comes Max Law onto Exile. Shadow Assault, they're trying to turn the damage back around. Exile able to escape. Xerxes jumps away as well, and the TP comes in because Hylissang and Samux have joined the fight. Here comes the teleport from Alfari. Misfits want a 5v5 in the mid lane. First blood to PoE, and Samux will fall as well. Misfits with 2 kills in mid.
And what you'll notice is that in actual fights, he's just going to be using autos a lot more and fighting a lot more. So now here comes Xerxes. He's trying to punish the no flash.
Can't land the stretching strike, the shockwave on 2, and Maxwell's just around the corner. Let's bounce, brings him back. Here comes the TP and the Tom Kench. Umbral trespass onto Exile, but Maxwell kills him. And now we're going to see the UOL re-engaged. Knock back onto PoE. Xerxes jumps in the plane, knocks him away. The stretching strike, 2 kills to the Unicorns, and they answer in the mid lane.
Now 5 members of Unicorns are in the mid. Hylissang used his ultimate to bring Samux up there, but it looks like Unicorns are going to get themselves a mid tower alongside the 2 early kills that they were able to get. Oh, if Unicorns lose this, will they still be able to make it to Worlds? How you qualify for Worlds is the winner of the summer split along the 2nd seed is the one with the number of championship points. We don't have time because the fight's breaking out.
Knock up onto Samux, Umbral trespass as well. Xerxes and Exile have joined the fight. Maxwell perhaps overextended. Xerxes going to get the knock up. Maxwell knocked back. Xerxes has the flash. Exile going deep, trying to get the kill onto Maxwell. Can't get there in time. He'll jump the wall, but the play backhand Samalo as well. Eventually, Exile will fall and the misfights will get 1.
And now Maxwell, he's looking for a gank bot.
Chachi, Alfari there as well. The explosive cast has to flash away from the Cataclysm. Misfits will burn that. Hans Summer's gone on to Exile though. The Buster Shot will knock him away. Exile trying to escape. He can't get away from Hans Summer. Another kill for Misfit. Unicorns of Love are looking for their 2nd dragon of the game, but Hans Summer is just pounding away on those turrets in the side lane. 2 members of the Misfits are here. Shadow Assault, Hans Summer has to use the heal, the knockback. Exile might escape as Ignar was there for the time being. Hans Summer almost dies. The dragon will fall. That's a Mountain Drake for UOL, but they do lose a tower because of it. And they tried to engage onto Hans Summer, who did have to flash away. Both these teams coming into this series with a plan to make Worlds. At the moment, Misfits seem to be on course. The Unicorns need to change some of their priorities. Exile's knocked up. Will Shadow Assault. Maxwell able to continue the jump on. Exile turns it back, but the Umbral trespass will mean that Exile dies, and now Alfari goes in with the Cataclysm. Devour on Hilly. Here comes the TP. Chachi, you might want to cancel that. He does. And Misfits able to get another kill and burn the flash from Hylissang.
So Exile gets caught once again. 3 deaths on the mid laner for the Unicorns of Love. Misfits are grouped up as a 5-man unit, and they have their eyes on the Baron, but they're actually going for a pick onto Xerxes.
Xerxes does have the flash. Let's bounce across the wall. Can flash towards the turret, but it's non-existent. Here comes the Abyssal Voyage. Maxlaw might get caught out a little bit. Double knock-up with the Blaze Reach. And here comes the Shockwave. Only hits Hylissang. Samux tries to get away, but you can't escape from Hans Summer. Now the Unicorns are in all kinds of hurt. Misfits with a double.
You can see the smiles on the coaching staff of Misfits as they win another fight over the Unicorns of Love. Things are starting to look dire. The Unicorns, who finished 2nd in the regular season, who were in the finals of the spring split, are being routed by this Misfits squad, who are right now taking the Baron. The hook has been landed onto Chachi.
Chachi is going to get locked up across the wall. Here comes Xerxes as well. The Baron's being stopped. Exile jumping in. Can he do something with the Shadow Assault? He's on Hans Summer. He kills him. And Chachi's got away. Maxlaw looking for the chase. Can't get there. Xerxes is going to get knocked up. And perhaps Misfits can get at least 1 kill out of this. They will kill Xerxes after he goes through the cell division. Alfari secures it. Misfits 8-3 up. 5,000 gold ahead.
Unicorns of Love stop the Baron, though. That's the most important thing.
I can do that, Vedius. I can read the numbers off on the screen. It's what us play-by-plays do, but perhaps it's not. As Exile pops the Shadow Assault, Maxlaw's down low. Unicorns looking for the engage off the side. Alfari jumps in. Maxlaw there as well. Xerxes with the Let's Bounce. Unicorns trying to find a fight in the mid lane. This has saved them time and time again, but can it save them today? They've lost 1 already, and Alfari wants a little bit more. Hylissang taken low. He pops the thick skin, but Power of Evil pops him. Misfits on the engage. They get a double PoE. And Sama goes in. Can't quite get the kill, but he'll take down Visit. Chachi falls for it, but 4 for 1 in favor of the Misfits.
Misfits get everything that they could possibly want. They do lose their AD carry, but they're likely going to get the Baron off the back of it. Well, they fought back this time. They were able to utilize their own TP plays. They made Hylissang work. But then they found fight after fight, and they're going to find another one.
Hook onto Chachi. Hans Summer just absolutely shredding through the Gragas, and they're looking to shred through these towers as well. The first inhibitor tower, their target. Misfits looking to close this game out in the next couple of minutes.
There's the Nash's Tooth completed on Power of Evil. 3 items done. Inhibitor down. Misfits, 5 members strong. They have a minion wave on the bottom lane. They still have a minute and a half left on the Baron. This is not what I was expecting from today's series, but it is looking convincing as Misfits are on track to make their way to the semifinals and their way to Paris.
A 10,000 gold lead at the 30-minute mark, and the Unicorns are falling by the wayside. Misfits on their second push with this Baron buff. Still a minute and a half on it. Vedius as Alfari jumps in. Cataclysm. Shockwave as well does not quite connect, but here's the knockup onto Exile. He tries to get on the backline, but he's taken out before he can get anywhere near. And this is the second inhibitor tower falling, and perhaps even the game for Misfits.
Everything that Misfits could want, they have. They still have 5 members alive. Only Nexus towers stand in their way while they still have Baron-empowered minions. Medic, the one-year plan was there for Misfits. We wondered which of these two teams will look likely to go to Worlds, and while there's still a long way to go, Misfits are looking to commit to that one-year plan as UOL go for a fight.
Killer Sam and Samix, this is the last chance saloon for Unicorns, but Ignar wants to re-engage. The TP in behind, the hook does not connect as Hansama jumps forward. Alfari there as well does not have the Cataclysm, and it's a 3v4 for the Misfits, but they just keep pushing forward and forward and forward, and the Unicorns have to rampage their way away. The Misfits looking to close out this game, Vedius.
Hanso and Ignar, they don't have a chance to go back because of the interrupt from the Unicorns, but Alfari has TP'd back in. Both Power of Evil and Maxtor are on their way. There's a big minion wave top, super minions in bot and mid. Misfits, they land the hook.
Ignar with another hook. He's hit them time and time again. Xerxes jumps in. Let's bounce brings back 2 Unicorns and the last stand of this series. Samix has killed Ignar, but here come Maxwell and Alfari. The UK duo with the Shockwave PoE joins them up. Chachi's dead. So is Xerxes. So are the Unicorns. And Misfits are going to close out this game. A triple kill for Hansama. And you may call them Misfits, but today they are conquerors as they take down UOL 3-0.
Misfits Gaming with the clean sweep over the Unicorns of Love. They defy expectations. Not many people expected much. I didn't expect much. I thought that the Misfits Gaming squad had a lot of weaknesses that they needed to rectify coming into playoffs, and they rectified them all. Alfari stepped up, the bottom lane stepped up, they worked well together. Power of Evil was able to get revenge over his former team, who he lost to in the semifinals of last split. Misfits Gaming have committed to that one-year plan, and this is their first step towards Worlds.
You can see as well the sadness in the Unicorns' eyes. It's not over for them. They can still make Worlds. Championship points obviously may play in their favor, but the gauntlet is there as well, Vedius, that they can run.
But you got to remember that, sure, Worlds is definitely the end goal, but being champions of Europe is something that the Unicorns of Love have strived for an extremely long time. And once again, they fall short. We said that this could have been the best year for the Unicorns of Love to date. But this just looks like their first year. They get second in spring, they fall short in summer. And 2017, they're not able to make it.
Seems like it's the year of the Misfits as they take a very surprising win. And you look across them and you see members who haven't stepped up this split, who haven't performed to their expectation. Hansama in particular thrived on the idea that he was one of the best AD carries in Europe. And until game 1, a lot of people doubted that, but that game 1 was a turning point for Misfits and a turning point for Hansama.
He's going to get the opportunity now to play in his home crowd. Paris, where the third place match and the final will take place. By getting a spot in the semi-final, you guarantee a spot to play on that stage. And now it is not confirmed who their opponents are. Depending on the winner of tomorrow's series between Splice and G2 will determine who their opposition is in the semi-final. Largely because of cross-group play and all that jazz. And
let's not talk about that. Let's let the AD talk about that. Misfits Gaming got a great start to the playoffs with a win against the Unicorns of Love. Let's leave it to the analyst desk to wrap up the series.
Well then, Medic, thank you. A 3-0 sweep by Misfits. I am honestly a bit shocked. Justice was the only one that had pegged Misfits as the winners, and that was even with Unicorns of Love taking one game. So I have to say, how much of an upset is this for you guys, the fact that Misfits are able to win this cleanly, the Fish Show?
It's quite an upset. For me personally, I thought Unicorns of Love would have way more to actually do in this series here. Once we started seeing like game 1, we actually kind of joked about being like, oh, we also want to pick Misfits now because that game 1 was pretty one-sided, and it became very one-sided, and the draft was really good. And game 2, you got a little bit more used to it. I feel like the series kind of set us up for this now, that we are not surprised going, after they win the 3rd game, but coming into it, I did not expect 3-0 Misfits.
Well, there were a couple of things that we were looking at. Can there be a second carry for Misfits besides Power of Evil? The entire team stepped up. I have to give a special shout out to Hans Samado. I mean, in this last game, he was great. He was great in game 2 as well. And the fact that he was able to step up in light of qualifying for Paris, as he's French as well, will be very important. But what can we put our finger on that was so much better from Misfits today than Unicorns of Love? Is it all really draft, Jesse?
I think mostly draft, definitely. To me, it looked like, at least the first game, looked very much like Unicorns just choked more than Misfits. And yeah, I mean, not only that, of course, I think Misfits was also just the better team overall, but I think mostly just draft, yeah.
Also, honorable mention for Power of Evil, Caps. He was only 7th on the famous Caps list, or 6th.
I mean, 5.
Was he 5?
He was 5.
Oh, 5 on the Caps list, but how much do you think he contributed to the Misfits' victory here?
Game 1, he didn't do that much, I think. It was kind of Hans Sammer's show. But game 2, he definitely stepped up and was like the main carry of the game. And then game 3, it was like, it was just the team overall performing better. But as I said before the series even began, I definitely think Power of Evil was above Exile in terms of skills, and it was definitely where they could rely on getting advantages. But the rest of the team just showed up as well, and yeah.
Every single person.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing here. After like a 3-0, it's always kind of weird because you want to talk so much about how the other team made all these mistakes and all this was
we're
wrong.
trying to be positive.
But we have to celebrate the fact that Misfits for basically the entire regular season would either be good in the early game and then fall short in the late game, or have a bad early game and then have to rely on the late game. This time around, they actually had very solid early games, and all 3 games, they had 0 issues pushing the advantage. They had 0 issues actually closing out the game. So it was like one Baron play where we were like, oh, that was risky. Apart from that, everything else was super one-sided whenever Misfits got the advantage, all 3 games. And that was very impressive. They actually kept that going, but also where I think they got the big advantage in the draft was Unicorns of Love at no point in this series had a better late game team fight than them. And that means it was really hard for Unicorns to actually get back in the games.
Yeah, as we're setting up for an interview with some of the Misfits, also Maxlor just in general targeting that mid lane was really good. But I also feel like having the Poppy as a counter pick to the Zac, it's something we didn't expect from him. Having the Kayn, even though it wasn't necessarily absolutely dominating, it is something you throw in the pick and ban that does also mess up the game plan. And I think as a jungler, he's also done his part with in this series through that.
100%. Like, he had good early ganks. I think with anything he could gone different, probably not.
I think, for Maxlor, it looks super easy. I mean, it's like you have three winning lanes, right? In almost all 3 games. So it's just about where can you get the most kills, like basically spot the enter. And mostly just towards mid lane, at least in the second game with the Poppy. And it just seemed super easy, and he had a lot of freedom.
Well, we've talked about almost everyone. Player of the series is Alphari, so then we have a mention for the top lane as well. Also someone who hadn't been in his groove, in his element that much during the summer split. We were wondering where the Alphari of the spring split was, where this huge potential. Hey, he had a fantastic series as well. Ignar, we don't want to leave anyone out. Daku, whoever's doing content for Misfits, great stuff. Great
Ben
stuff.
the owner.
Ben the owner, exactly. No, but overall, they absolutely stepped up. They are... well, stepping into that prophecy of the 1-year plan and the Worlds possibly and the playoffs, they are now looking for me like a really big contender for the rest of the playoffs.
I mean, 100%. And if G2 beats Splice tomorrow, then it is Misfits versus Fnatic. Caps and Justice during the games, they were scared, man. They were starting really questioning if they can actually still make the final after you see a 3-0 performance like this one.
And on that note, we're going to listen to some of the Misfits. They took a dominant win. They are one step closer to a spot at Worlds and that playoff championship. Let's head over to Dracos, who's ready with our jungler and mid laner.
Thank you very much, Shox. I am joined by Maxlor and Power of Evil. Now, first question, Maxlor, you come into playoffs, right off the bat, you 3-0 someone. You absolutely crushed someone in the first round. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty fantastic, of course. It was, I expected a 3-1 actually due to how we played in scrims, but on stage we just transitioned so well and we just played like a team. It was beautiful League of Legends.
Now, Power of Evil on the other side, last season, spring split rather, it took a reverse sweep. It took like Misfits against the odds to come back against a 0-2 start against Splice. What's different about spring compared to summer that you're able to come so much more confident into these playoff matches?
Well, so first of all, we have way better communication than in Spring Split. Spring Split, Kakao didn't provide so much communication, more like mechanically skill. So it was really hard to figure out how to win games and how to draft. And today, I think we just went into the games really, really confident, and we had a really good week of scrims, and we just played really, really good as a team. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, it looked really good across the board. Maxwell, I want to go back to some of the picks that you brought out today, Game 2, Game 3 specifically. Poppy, I want to start off. This was the Xerxes special, and you brought it out against the Zach, and honestly, when I saw it picked, I was stunned. How much planning, how much prep went into pulling this pick out on stage?
To be honest, we went into scrims this week to not pick Zach if Poppy's open, and we actually never played Poppy because no one picked Zach. So now on stage, he picked Zach, you know, and I had to convince my team to pick me Poppy, and it worked out pretty damn good, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, so it did, but where does the confidence come from on your end to just go, hey, I've never played this in scrims, but I can do this, I can pull this out?
Well, he has a mid laner who tells me every day, Poppy's fucking broken against Zach. It's insanely strong, just pick it, and yeah, just backing you up, bro.
Well, to be honest, it's another tank, right? It's another Maokai. It's super easy to play. Just know where the Zach is and press W.
I mean, but even off the first gank, you were able to set up Power Beagle for success on the Lucian pick, Lucian into Kassadin. Was that always going to be an easy matchup, or was it the first blood coming in for Maxlor that just made it so easy for you?
I honestly didn't really understand the Kassadin into the Lucian, since Lucian destroys Kassadin early game. He has a magic shield and he's melee range, so you just make fun of him in the lane. And then we have Poppy for like really, really good dives, right? Because Poppy hard wins Zach, so he can contest all camps. We can even 2v2 dives in mid lane. That's what we called in game as well. That even if Zach comes, we just interrupt his jump, so he's useless of defending the dive. And it was just a really, really easy game from that point, since I get first blood and Lucian, who snowballs, is really, really OP.
Now, looking across it, this was once again a fantastic series, but I want to go back a little bit to the regular season. Honestly, it felt like a struggle for the last couple of weeks. You guys had some good games, you guys had some bad games. I think we as a broadcast team were very much saying Power of Evil is the only man who can carry this team. And while you did admittedly have a fantastic Lucian game, it feels like everyone, including yourself, Maxlor, Alfari, Hansama, Ignar, stepped up today. So for you, Maxlor, like, what is the difference maker here? Why are we seeing this change for Misfits now in the playoffs versus in the regular season?
I would say that we understand the draft and the game. Just our overall improvement has been fantastic. During LCS, we actually tried a lot of stuff on stage, like Graves jungle, which I never played again after that loss against Fnatic. Oh, I can't remember who it was. But yeah, we're working as a team really well. We understand what we want from each other. We got the bot lane duo pick sorted, and against Unicorns especially, we knew coming in what are their strong picks. So maybe it won't be as easy facing our next team. However, because we came in strong knowing that we just banned these few champions and they're off their comfort picks, we can take the series pretty convincingly.
I honestly believe that we outdrafted them in every game. I think our coaching staff did insanely good drafts today. Like every game, I felt really, really confident about like every matchup. We nearly got always like pushing lanes and the better outcome, I would say. So I would say like today we just like, it's even more easily to go into the game with like a huge confidence boost by winning the draft.
So how much do you think this is going to be viable in the future to get these good drafts? Do you think you guys are going to be consistently able to outdraft at this level, or was a lot of your success today credited to the draft? And are you concerned that things might start to get a little bit harder if you can't have the same success?
Well, honestly, obviously, it's going to be harder since Fnatic is a really, really strong team. We face them in semis, I think. So
it's actually going to depend, but continue. We can break down that.
All right, but I don't think it matters that much. We always do kind of the same amount of draft preparation, and I would just say it was an excellent job this time from Hiva and Hussein.
All right, so I'm going to break this down for you, Maxwell. This is going to be a question, but just to give some context for anyone watching. So in the event that Splice win tomorrow, you guys will play against H2K. In the event that G2 win, you'll play against Fnatic. So coming into semifinals, H2K or Fnatic, who would you rather be faced up against and why?
I would say, honestly, for myself, I'd rather face Fnatic, because if we beat them, there's a high chance of us auto-qualifying to Worlds. So I'd rather not let my fate be decided by someone else, and we have the chance to kind of get to Worlds by beating Fnatic.
So less about individual team strengths, worrying about how the teams are going to play, and more about just looking at championship points, bottom line, trying to qualify for Worlds.
I'm not really worried about any team. We're at a really good form right now, so.
All right, well, on your side, Power of Evil, Fnatic, you got to go up against Caps. H2K, you got to go up against Febiven. How do you feel about playing against either or as far as those mid laners go?
I think they're both really skilled, so for me, honestly, it doesn't matter. I would agree to what Max said, and I would prefer to face Fnatic as well.
All right, final question for both of you. How far are the Misfits going to make it? It was a 3-0 today. Can you make it all the way to the finals?
Of course.
Why would you even ask that?
I mean, I want to hear you say yes. That's why.
You wanna no, I don't think we're going to make it, like, seriously.
That would
over,
also,
it's over.
That
We
would
can't do
also
We're
be.
against Fnatic next. Like, they're just the kings of Europe. What can we do at this point? We're taking a vacation now.
I mean, I just wanted to hear you guys be confident.
Time to get to Gauntlet.
All right, well, good to hear the confidence. Glad you guys are in a good enough mood to troll me here. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Congrats again on the 3-0 over the Unicorns of Love and your place in Paris, as well as the semifinals. That's going to do it for us here. We'll send it back to Shox and the desk to end out the day.
Oh my God, they just destroyed Dracos. I
mean,
saw what he was going
hey,
for. I saw what he was going for.
We have to ask our guests as well. Will you guys make it to Worlds?
Stop laughing at it.
We're lucky. It's 50-50.
Maybe.
Hey, Martin, when was the last time